Hey folks, hope you're doing good today. Hope you've had a good week and all that jazz, man. The Fridays come around quickly, don't they? Anyway, today we've got some cool bands to check out. We've had a nice week on the channel this week. I really like the husband and wife crusty grind that we had yesterday. Man, that was pretty cool checking them out. We'll see them on a Monday grind in the future. But anyway, today we're going to check out 3 Blackened metal bands of different kind of styles. We've got some one-man bands in here. We've got some 2-man bands in here as well. And it's kind of homegrown music. Very, very cool. The first band we're going to check out, and the reason why we've got this stuff on the channel today, these are a brand new band. This is going to be their debut single and video as well. They've done a nice job of the video. And this band is a 2-man band. It's a set of brothers. And the younger brother, I'm also in a band with, Rotten Monarch. We've been in a band together since 2017 is when we first started doing that stuff. I do all the music and the mixing and everything else, and he does the vocals. But we haven't made anything for a while because he actually stopped recording for a while, and then I just went off and did some solo stuff. But he's got recording again, and he actually did it in his mate's car. He said, I'm off to the studio. And I was like, where's that then? Your mate's car? And he's like, yeah, that's where we're going. But he got the job done. He did a cool recording. A car's as good a place to practice and record as a studio if you can set it up right. It's a great place to do vocals anyway. But yeah, he's in this band because this isn't Rotten Monarch style music, although it actually kind of is, because the whole point of this band was meant to be that he really likes Blackened deathcore, and he seems to think Blackened deathcore is the dopest music going. It isn't, but he seems to think it is, and he loves A Night in Texas and stuff like that. And he wanted to be in one of those kind of bands, and I don't play those kind of riffs in Rotten Monarch. I'm more kind of black and doomy and just kind of avant-garde, whereas he wanted to do a bit more standard, chuggy stuff, breakdowns, deathcore with a Blackened edge to it and all the rest of it. And that's what I thought this stuff was actually going to be. But it doesn't actually sound like that at all to me. It hasn't got the deathcore edge to it. To me, this sounds actually like more Blackened doom, which is what me and him do in Rotten Monarch pretty much as well. So I think what's the case is, whatever he puts his hand to, he can't help but do some Blackened doomy stuff. And no matter how much he wanted to do deathcore, he could probably join A Night in Texas, and their next album would be Blackened Doom. So there you go. You just can't get it right. This band is called The Rabbit's Head. He does the vocals and stuff. His brother's a guitarist, and they've figured out and paid other people to get other parts of the music done, the drumming and things like that. But it's sounding very cool. They got a cool video for this one as well. And I will just say, his older brother is much cooler, way more good looking, and just a general all-round better dude. So here we go. Let's check this one out. Nice dirty bass tone in there. This isn't deathcore. This is Blackened doom. Did a good job of the video. Found some free clips off the internet. And then used the red and the black theme throughout the video and did some of their own clips. I think it turned out nicely. Nice guitaring. That violin sounds nice. I think I would have used that a bit earlier in the track. Brings in a nice emotional edge to it as well. Sits in the mix in a different area to the guitar, so it's got its own space nicely. So I definitely think about if you're going to use violins and orchestral elements in the music in the future, you know, maybe bring them in sooner because they sound great. Really nice. Now, I haven't heard his brother play guitar before. When I first met Seth, who's a singer, his brother, he was into house music and EDM and doing rap stuff as well. He wanted to be the next kind of mumble rapper, I think it was at one point. But he's actually a sick guitarist and writes a really nice track. It's not so much that he's shredded and all stuff like that, but the melodic side and the way he moves and the choice of notes and stuff, really nice. I think it's got a cool sound to it. It's got an atmosphere to it. It's got an emotional edge to go with the Blackened vocal, which I like. So yeah, he's a great guitarist. I will say though, this could be a Rotten Mono track almost. So maybe what I was thinking, we just get him in on Rotten Mono and become a three-piece. Maybe that would be pretty cool because he plays guitar way differently to how I play guitar, and I think it would be nice to bring those two edges together. Pretty cool. We'll probably do something in the future for sure. So yeah, really like what he's doing on the guitar. The drums sound good. I'm pretty sure what they did is they had it all MIDI planned out, and then they sent it over to someone on Fiverr who actually played it for real. But on an electric kit, I think it was. So the drums sound nice and punchy because it's an electric kit, but it sounds real and natural in that way because it's played by a real person as well. Cool. I like the bass tone in here. I don't know how the hell they got the bass tone, whether it was Josh that played the bass as well, but they got a great tone on it. It cut through the mix in a different way to the guitars and had a nice grizzle and grind to it, which I always like to hear. So that was dope. Now, when it comes to the vocal, I've said it to Seth a million times, but he is an absolute garbage vocalist. He just sounds like he's shouting. It's boring. It's rah, rah, rah. And I really can't be bothered with it whatsoever. So it's a shame really that he had to spoil what his brother did, which was so cool and dope, with his crappy vocal over the top. I don't know why he bothers. He should just quit and, you know, go and flip burgers at Burger King or something instead, because this guy sucks at vocals. And that's all I'm going to say about it really. We'll move on to the next band because I'm actually sick of hearing him. The next band is a one-man band, and this is such a high-quality one-man band. Well, probably one of the most high-quality one-man bands I can think of. We've stuck with this guy for ages now, a couple of years. He's one of the first people that came through on the show, because I'm pretty sure I found out about him from Reddit. And yeah, he's absolutely killing it. He's an artist as well. What he likes to do is take old Renaissance paintings and dark paintings from like the 1600s and stuff like that. Then he photoshops photoshops into an even darker version of it, and it looks really, really cool. But it actually looks like a real painting. You know, it doesn't look like he's kind of just cut and pasted parts around. Really does a nice job of it, making it look like an original painting, but even darker than the actual original that it came from. Very, very sick. This guy's got his own style. He likes to wear a cape and a hood and all, you know, cover his face and all like that. He's got a persona with his music as well. This guy's gone all in. I don't know if he plays live shows. I can't think I've ever seen any live videos from him. But man, if he's not doing that, that's the next step this guy needs to take, because he's dialed everything else down to a really high quality standard. Very, very cool. This is Clayshaper. This track has only just come out recently, I think it was. I've got the date on here. This is called Hex Rite. Cool melodic stuff to this one as well. A nice bass tone in this mix as well, with a nice grizzle and grind on it. Bass sounds great. Cool. It's cool, this one. It's Blackened, but it's got other elements to it that aren't normally in Blackened music or in straight up black metal. You wouldn't get a melody like this in black metal very often. Great job. This guy's the full package as a one-man band. High quality all round, and he does everything himself. Absolutely love to see it. Just ticking all the boxes and doing a high quality job of it as well. Great video for that one. I like his image and all what he's got. He's got a proper costume and everything going on there. Looks really cool. High quality video, recorded nicely and everything else. Cool to see him shredding out on the guitar. He's a high level guitarist as well. I think he must be mainly a guitarist, and that's generally what happens with one-man bands. But he does a nice job of the rest of the elements of the music as well. I think you can pretty much tell they're MIDI drums. I would like to see a bit more. In general, I would like to see a bit more atmosphere from this sound, because I think it's calling out for just a bit more reverb and a bit more echo and atmosphere on the vocal and stuff as well. I think the lead tone could have been a bit more atmospheric as well. That's all the only thing I'd really kind of ask from this guy, and that's only because that's my own personal taste. He's doing his own thing, so it's what he likes. But for my own personal taste, I'd just say, yeah, dude, just go a bit more atmospheric. Just crank the time up on the reverb pedal a bit more, so it's got a bit more of a trail and a kind of echoey, reverby sound to it. That's all I'd like to do to this stuff. But it sounds dope. It sounds high quality. He does a great job of the mix and stuff as well. The cool bass tone in this one. So can't ask for any more out of this guy. If you like one-man bands, this guy is one of the most high-quality one-man bands I can think of. And if you like Blackened metal and black metal, this guy is sick. Very, very cool. Right, we're going to check out one more one-man band. And I had a quick look about this guy. What does it say here? Solo musician Scotty Nelson from Seattle, Washington. And I thought, hang about, I'm sure we've kind of seen this guy at some point, in another band. And it turns out he's been in a whole bunch of bands, but one of the bands that we have seen him with, which wasn't actually, it was June 24th, 2020, which we hadn't been doing the show very long. And actually remember this show as well, as still one of my favorite shows. And I think it was the first show ever that I spinned a track twice because it absolutely blew me away. No, it was the second time. The first time was Humanity's Last Breath with Abyssal Mouth, because that was just unreal when I've heard it the first time. But this next band, which was Leached, which is why I'm even wearing this cap today, this was the first time Leached appeared on the show. Their track absolutely blew my socks off. I had to spin it twice, and it blew my socks off even harder the second time that I listened to it. But the third band that were on that show, I'll get round to my point eventually, was Isdal. And Scotty Nelson is in Isdal as well. There you go. That's a long-winded point to say that he's in a different band as well. So he's called this one-man project Seken. The track is called Ditch Witch. It's a long one as well at 6 minutes, but it's sounding cool. Let's give it a spin. cymbals are so high. I like the extra quick blast. And those cymbals really hard. Someone's just gonna need that food. Cool. What a harsh sound. I haven't heard cymbals that harsh in a while. Oh, we're not actually done yet. We've still got a minute to go. Cool sounds. That's just going to be an outro for this. I'll just crank it down a bit and talk over this outro. This one was harsh as hell, especially those cymbals, man. Just absolutely clattered your ears with the harshness. On purpose, you know, you could tell he'd done that on purpose. It wasn't kind of accidental, I don't think. He's purposely making this stuff sound harsh, but man, when he was clattering those cymbals, it came through really harsh because they were really loud as well as harsh. So yeah, I think I would have turned those down a bit or just taken a little bit of the harshness away because it was a little bit uncomfortable with it nice and loud in your headphones. The guitar tone was absolutely sick. Very, very nice. I don't think there was a bass tone in there from what I could hear, unless you're doing some octave stuff or something that I couldn't really make out, but the guitar tone was absolutely sick. The vocal was absolutely sick as well. I really like the gravelly, open throat, reminding me a bit of Zayo and things like that. Dope style to have. Really, really sounds dope. Sounds deathy, blackened, and just gravelly, you know, dope. So I really like that as well. But I will say this track didn't need to be 6 minutes long. I would have trimmed some of the fat off this one for sure, maybe tied it up to something like 4 minutes so that it felt more kind of you know, it felt like it moved and it had a movement to it, because it did seem to kind of get stuck in a couple of ruts and repeat itself just a few too many times without bringing extra stuff in to make it, you know, the next 8 bars or the next 16 bars a bit more interesting than the last one. You know, if you're going to repeat yourself, it's either got to build in velocity and intensity, so that you get the build in that way, or you've got to start bringing in more elements to the mix as it goes through the repetitions to create some kind of swell and crescendo, you know, because otherwise it kind of just feels like it's treading water, in my opinion. And that can be cool to a point, but I think for this one, we treaded a bit too much water to where, you know, we were starting to just go under a bit, if that analogy makes any sense whatsoever. I really enjoyed the sound of it. I really, really like the vocal and the guitar tone. I think you can do a lot with that to make it sound really cool, but I would just kind of, you know, make the track a bit more flowy rather than get stuck in ruts a bit more, or if you are going to do that, think about bringing in more elements or building the velocity and the swell of the music as you do that, so that when it does move into the next section, it feel, you know, there's a change there, it feels right, you've either built into it or you've swelled and then pulled back from it, and it just always makes the next section kind of have more dynamics in that way. Probably telling this guy to suck eggs. It does say on here, what a mess, I've done it again. Ditch witch. So there you go. I think he is just having fun with this stuff, and that's what you're meant to be doing, just a one-man band as well. But I do feel with that guitar tone, with that vocal, and the general doomy, nasty, blackened edge to it, there's a lot of potential to get, you know, a very cool sound and a cool track with that stuff. Sick. So there we go. That's what we're going to have on the channel this week. I'm not going to be back now till the Monday grind on Monday, because I've got some stuff to do over the weekend. But we'll see you on Monday. Hope you've had a good week. Hope you have a good weekend. We'll see you then. Cheers. Bye.